All right, so I'm back. Sorry about that for those of you that were just with me. When you get a phone call in on Periscope, Periscope shuts off even if you don't answer the call. So, Matt Morey, the C4 leader, and I apologize for that. This particular quote for today is by Max Lucado. He is a minister and he has some very interesting items on his website. I don't know if he's actually ever run an orchestra, but his quote is, "A man who wants to lead the orchestra must turn his back on the crowd. A man who wants to lead an orchestra must turn his back on the crowd." Now, if you go to my website, c4leader.com, there's a picture that I have with the quote overlaying over it. That picture is from a orchestra, or actually a band, that plays in Chatham, Massachusetts. That's a small town in Cape Cod. And the picture is very personal to me, so I would really appreciate it if people went and took a look. The reason for that is my grandparents were in Chatham, and because my grandparents were in Chatham, I got to see what was called band time in Chatham every summer. Hi, Baltus. Nice to see you. How are you? And so the quote of the day is overlaying a picture that's from my childhood, and it's a great thing, at least personally to me. Now, in order to lead an orchestra, you must turn your back on the crowd. What does that mean? It means that from a leader's perspective, your job is to take care of the team. Your job is to make sure that your team is doing what's right and what's appropriate for the goals, and that you are taking care of them. Worrying about the crowd behind you, worrying about the stakeholders, the naysayers, the people that don't influence, the people that can only cause you headaches by turning around and seeing what they're doing, is only a distraction. And that's why the conductor's back is to the audience. He doesn't pay attention to the audience. He pays attention to his team. He pays attention to the orchestra. He pays attention to the band. The reason being, even though the audience is the one that's enjoying the end result, if the conductor has his back to his team because he's worried about what the audience is experiencing, then he's not seeing what's going on with his team. He doesn't know where there's obstacles. He doesn't see where there's pain. He doesn't pay attention to the hints that his team may be giving him. So think about that from the perspective that you have when you're working with your team. Are you paying attention to your team? Or are you paying attention more to what other people are saying about your team and about the goals that are going on? A lot of the time, we get pulled in by the noise that surrounds us, and we're worried about how we're perceived. And that perception really isn't important. What's important is how the team is working together. So as a leader, I would encourage you to take a step back and look and see where your priorities are, or where you're putting your priorities. Because the priorities that I see a lot of leaders focus on, sorry, I'm pulling something up. The priority I see a lot of people focus on isn't for the team, it's for the audience, or it's for the stakeholders, the naysayers, the people that surround the project or the tasks and create noise. So again, Max Lucado, "A man who wants to lead the orchestra must turn his back on the crowd." If you want to lead, pay attention to your team. This is Matt Morey. I'm the C4 leader. As always, I'm committed that you will get more with Morey. And here's to you and your team.